Hi folks, I'm going to pack a bearing and I wanted to show everybody how to do it with no tools involved. So you got your grease, you just take your other hand and you put the grease in your hand. It's messy, sure it is, but that's why they sell soap. So here's the bearing, brand new, and here's the race. The race you don't need to worry about, just put that back down. The bearing is what you want to pack before you put it in the hub, whichever hub that may be. So you can see you have two sides of the bearing. You have the wide end and then you have the narrow end. Well, we're going to use the wide end. That's where the biggest opening is. And basically stick your finger in it and hold it like this. And you got your grease in your hand like this. And you're just going to basically go and keep pushing down on it like this. And just this crack here is where you're interested for the grease to go. You see it went in, but that's not good enough. We want to keep on doing that. So once you get a rhythm, you don't need to go into the middle of the grease, just the edge of the grease. And you just keep on doing that, and I'll show you what happens. Use a good grease too. When it's coming to bearings, don't cheap out and get cheap grease. Do yourself a favor and get some really good grease. Pay the little extra money it's going to cost. Do yourself that favor. The amount of time you're going to get out of them bearings with a good grease over a cheap grease, well, there really is no comparing it. There's other methods of doing this, but you need basically tools are involved with it. And for the person that doesn't have any tools and they want to have good bearings, doesn't mean they can't do it. Okay, you can see I pushed up grease. It's coming up the other side. Well, that portion of the bearing is packed. So now all we want to do is rotate it a little bit and go to the other spot until we see grease again coming out that end. This way you're ensured that all the bearing is coated with grease before you install them. So you can see you got more grease coming up the other side. So I'm going to rotate a little bit more and keep on going until I go around the whole bearing and push grease up the other side. And then there's one more little wee step involved after that. And I'll show you once we get there. Takes a little bit of time. Grab yourself a seat, sit down, and pack away. See, it came up the other side, so I'm going to give it another little turn, but before I do that, I'm going to remove the excess grease here that's on the other side and put it back in the palm of my hand and continue. I have 4 bearings here to do. I already did one of them, and the second one here I'm showing you, and I'm not going to show you the third and fourth one, because after this one here you'll get the idea on how to do it, and that's all you have to do is do it. Buy yourself new bearings for your boat trailer, utility trailer, whatever it may be. There's bearings in just about everything, and not all of them need greasing, because some of them basically are submerged in an oil bath, so they're getting lubricated. But the ones that are in trailers and boat trailers and the rear trailing axles of cars, they're not submerged in anything, and they need to be greased. If you don't grease them, you're just looking for trouble and being stranded somewhere, because the bearing is going to get hot and it's going to fall apart. Just about done here. That's all it's going to take. So now that last part I was showing you, just grab a hold of the inside portion of the bearing and then turn the outside portion of the bearing, just to make sure all of them little wheels inside the bearing are coated and covered in grease. And by turning this, it's just making sure that there's no dry spots. You can go back the other way there, and then just wipe off the excess grease. It's slimy, alright, I can tell you, it's very slimy. Look at how gooey that is. It's okay though, we'll clean up after. Can't really do this with gloves. Well, I'll put this back in the race, and now it's ready to install. After I take out the old race and put the new race in, then the bearing's ready to go in. So I'm going to continue the next bearing. And thank you for watching the video. I hope you gained some tips on how to pack a bearing. Thank you for watching, and thank you very much for those that have subscribed. And if you have not, please do so.